your side. News at 5.
Efforts underway to extinguish a fire on Mount Lemmon. The Montrose fire has burned about 13 acres near Rose Canyon Lake since 5 this morning. We know the blaze is human-caused, but we do not know exactly how it began. Good evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm Guy Atchley.
And I'm Stella Inger. 9 Your Side's Christina Myers has more from Mount Lemmon.
This is the Box Camp trailhead where some of the fire crews have set up a base camp. Now, you can't actually see the fire burning from here, but we can certainly smell it. Here we have the Wildland Fire Crew and the Geronimo Hotshots from Douglas. We're told that this fire is burning about 3 miles south on the mountain. So all of these fire crews, about 40 of them, had to hike down through rough terrain in order to fight this fire. Crews in the air supporting those on the ground. Dumping 2,000 gallons of water at a time. The Montrose fire is burning pretty close to thankfully empty rental cabins. The dead trees in the area show you this is also where part of the devastating Aspen fire burned in 2003. Those dead trees are the main fuel for this fire, and the concern is that conditions could be just right for it to spread to those nearby houses.
Fuels are there, heavy fuels. The topography is there. When fire burns uphill, it can burn a lot faster and a lot hotter. The weather is the unknown. If the wind's kicked up, that's going to give us a big problem. So the quicker we can stop something, the smaller we can keep it, the less problem we're going to have if the winds come along.
Do you have the individual in a good shaded place where they can get hydrated and rested?
An injured hiker slowed their progress a bit as firefighters needed to refocus to get him to safety. No word on his condition or why he was down there.
If you divert the focus of firefighters or firefighting personnel or personnel assigned to the fire, that could be detrimental to their well-being as well.
They do not expect to have this fire fully put out by tonight, so that means part of the mountain will remain closed. We'll have a full list of restrictions for you on our website, kgun9.com. For now, reporting from Mount Lemmon, Christina Myers, KGUN 9 on your side.
Christina, thank you. And east of Douglas, crews are fighting to contain another wildfire. The College Peak fire has burned 900 acres so far. This is video sent to us from a 9 Your Side viewer. This is from Wednesday, the same day that it actually sparked. Ground teams and 2 helicopters are helping fight the fire. Right now, it is about 20% contained. Now, these hot temps are not doing any good for these wildfires.
Chief Meteorologist Aaron Christensen joins us now. Aaron, this is not the end of the heat wave, is it?
No, Guy, but the heat wave is going to be fairly short-lived. We do actually see a cool down after a stretch of a few days where we will be dangerously close to 100, if not actually topping out our first century mark of the year. Certainly felt like it today, although we did not make it. 99 degrees, our high at 217 at the airport, but again, as promised, we'll come close tomorrow. We'll talk about that in just a bit. Right now, Tucson has dropped to 98 degrees, 90 in Wilcox, 90 in Douglas, 87 Sierra Vista. Our skies mostly clear here across the board, and the wind not too terribly strong at this point, but the storm that will bring us that cooler air is also going to bring us some wind. And guess what, guys? Those graduation photos are starting to roll in. You'll have to see the one that I'm using and the graduation forecast coming up.
Thanks, Aaron. Huge backups at Phoenix Sky Harbor Airport. Look at this. Thousands of bags are not being screened after TSA says it's experiencing major delays. Those bags are currently being sent to Tucson International Airport or to San Diego International Airport to be screened. Then they will be sent to their final destinations.
Well, Tucson police have arrested a man in Sunday's hit and run. 34-year-old John David Ward was arrested on 1 count of leaving the scene of a serious injury accident. Ward already served 9 years in prison for 17 felonies, including aggravated assault and armed robberies. It hasn't even been a year since he left jail, but Ward was identified after this surveillance video was taken at Curves Cabaret just before 2 a.m. on Sunday. TPD says he was the driver of a sedan that ran through a stop sign, then struck a bicyclist before he took off. The bicyclist remains in critical condition. Well, 4 months probation. That's what a judge gave a Tucson foster mother after she pleaded guilty to negligent homicide, a felony. This is Susan Matthews in court this morning for sentencing. Her 12-year-old adopted son, Patrick Matthews, died in a fire set by a younger foster child in their bedroom in 2014. The state requested jail time, but the judge chose a more lenient sentence. Here's 9 News Side's Valerie Cavazos with the latest.
Susan Matthews walked into the courtroom with 2 women she's fostered by her side. She's cared for more than a dozen, mostly special needs children, in her home for several years. But that privilege was stripped away permanently after Patrick Matthews died at the hands of a 6-year-old brother. With no criminal record, the judge gave Matthews 4 years probation.
So I don't believe a prison sentence is appropriate based on your low score, your amenability to probation. I also do not believe a prison sentence is appropriate because you have shown remorse.
Given a chance to speak, Matthews had little to say.
I'm very emotional today, so I won't be speaking much, but I think I said everything in the letter that I sent you.
The judge addressed the letter, concerned Matthews didn't seem to take responsibility for Patrick's death. He died just hours after being pulled from his bunk, severely burned. He was disabled, stuck in bed, unable to escape without help. The judge said the 6-year-old had a history of starting fires, and Matthews was well aware of that fact and the risk to Patrick, but didn't do enough to prevent his death.
You have got to accept responsibility, and you need to, through therapy and counseling, deal with that, because this is your responsibility.
Matthews has 20 days to appeal her case. Valerie Cavazos, KGUN 9 on your side.
In the same court, another guilty plea to first-degree murder, but this one by reason of insanity. George Majeski admitted he killed his wife, Dr. Kerman Dubosh, a well-known Oro Valley veterinarian. The murder happened at the couple's home last summer. Majeski will be sentenced next month. Neighbors in one East Side neighborhood were suddenly awakened this morning by multiple gunshots after a drive-by shooting. It all happened near Stella and Kolb, and Tucson police say they believe it was a targeted attack. Bullets struck a house as well as 3 cars. Luckily, no one was hurt, but police are now investigating, saying they believe this is gang-related.
Well, he is a nationally known surgeon, Dr. Peter Ree. He has had over 20 different homes in his life, and the one he stayed the longest is Tucson, but that is about to change.
Plus, George Zimmerman, the trial, tossed out years ago. But today, he's getting rid of the most important evidence in that case. You're watching KGUN 9 on your side. Donald Trump made the rounds on Capitol Hill this morning, his first real effort to court Republican leaders. House Speaker Paul Ryan said he's not ready to endorse the likely nominee, but other lawmakers have indicated they are softening their stance. Can the brash businessman close this deal? Karen Travers with the latest.
Donald Trump took Capitol Hill by storm, his first real effort at winning over Republican leaders.
It was very good. It's very productive, talked issues, and I look forward to continuing the conversation.
But there was no endorsement from the most powerful Republican here in Washington, House Speaker Paul Ryan.
I was very encouraged with what I heard from Donald Trump today. I do believe that we are now planting the seeds to get ourselves unified.
But Ryan says it will take time for that unity to grow.
You don't put it together in 45 minutes.
And in perhaps a bit of a dig at Trump, Ryan tweeting this photo of him talking with school children in the Capitol and calling it his most important meeting of the day. Republicans acknowledge there are some pretty deep divides after the long, contentious primary season. Disagreements with Trump over policy and questions about his campaign style.
Well, I think Donald Trump gets it completely about being presidential and gracious, and I can tell you that's how he acts toward me and in private. Donald Trump also has to be Donald Trump. I mean, it's what got him here.
But is he already shifting to a Donald Trump 2.0? In the week since his rivals dropped out, Trump has hedged his positions on tax policy, the minimum wage, even his controversial Muslim ban.
I sure I'd back off on it. I'd like to back off as soon as possible.
Hillary Clinton tweeting a sarcastic good luck to Republicans on uniting behind Trump. She says he's now backpedaling on his Muslim ban and voters shouldn't let him. Karen Travers, ABC News, Capitol Hill.
Well, in other news around the nation, Republicans are rejoicing today. A judge ruled in favor of the GOP in the Obamacare challenge. At issue is the cost-sharing provision in the Affordable Care Act. It requires insurance companies offering health plans through the law to reduce out-of-pocket costs for policyholders who qualify. The government offsets the added cost to insurance companies by reimbursing them. But lawyers for the House argued Congress did not properly approve the money for those reimbursements. The U.S. District Judge sided with the challengers but said she would stay her ruling pending an appeal. The Obama administration is expected to appeal this decision. An online gun website is willing to auction off the gun George Zimmerman says he used to kill Trayvon Martin. The first website pulled it. Zimmerman said he will use a portion of the proceeds to, quote, fight Black Lives Matter violence against law enforcement officers. The starting bid for the gun was $5,000.
Chief Meteorologist Aaron Christensen is here with your forecast.
Guy, not quite hot enough to make it to 100 degrees today. The mercury climbed to 99. But wait, can we call this hot then? What do we call this? That's coming up after the break.
Plus, one of the medical heroes in the January 8th shootings is leaving Tucson. Where he's going when KGUN 9 on your side continues.
Well, one of 3 doctors credited with saving former Congresswoman Gabby Giffords' life is leaving Tucson. On January 8, 2011, Dr. Peter Rhee rushed to help Giffords after she was shot in the head. His 24 years as a military surgeon helped him treat Giffords and 12 others who were injured in the shooting rampage. Dr. Rhee has been a top trauma surgeon at Banner UMC for 8 years, but now he'll be moving to Atlanta's Grady Memorial Hospital, where he will be the chief of acute surgery and director of their trauma center. Coming up all new at 10, Dr. Rhee talks to KGUN 9 about January 8th and his time here.
Tucson and Pima County officials were remembering one of their own today as they gathered for a ribbon-cutting ceremony. The occasion was a $12 million grant to boost operations at the Port of Tucson, converting rail traffic to truck traffic. At the same time, dignitaries noted the absence of Ann Day, a former supervisor killed in a traffic accident last weekend.
I know she would have wanted to be here today. She was, besides being a dedicated conservationist, her other priority was economic development, and she would have been here celebrating were she still with us. So her presence here today is missed, but I think she would be pleased with the outcome.
A memorial service for Ann Day will be held Saturday morning at Brandy Fenton Park.
Now, KGUN 9 on your side first warning weather with Chief Meteorologist Aaron Christensen.
So did we or didn't we? No, we did not. I'm talking about hit that century mark for the first time this year, although it may have felt like it to you. So dangerously close, 99 degrees. But if you're someone who's bummed out because we didn't hit 100, don't sweat it. We'll make another run at it tomorrow. 100, the forecast high for tomorrow. In fact, there is an almost 60% chance that we'll hit 100 tomorrow. Saturday, pretty close too. With 98 degrees, there's a 23% chance we'll eke out 100 on Saturday as well. So what do we call this then if we didn't actually hit 100? I had a request to bring up this graphic again, so I kind of tweaked it a little bit, right? You know darn well that we can't call 99 degrees hot here in the desert because we don't have anywhere else to go beyond that when we start reaching 100, 105, 110. So I've made this chart for us. We can call 75 chilly. 80 degrees in the desert, well, that's cool. 85, balmy. 90 is warm. And if 90 is warm, then that means 95 must be you guessed it, warmer. We'll call 100 hot. Sure, we can go ahead and use the H word once we hit the century mark. And there's really very little difference between 100 and 105 or so, I'm told. Lots of folks can't feel much of a difference, so we'll call that just hotter. And 110, we might as well be Phoenix. That's what we'll call us when we reach that. We might have a few of those in us this year. What do you say? We had a few last year. Our high temperatures across Cochise County, so I guess that means then places like Bisbee, you're warm, and Douglas, you're warmer. A couple triple digits in there. Hot in Marana at 102. Green Valley, you'll be close to hot with 99. 100 in Picacho, 102 for 3 points. 100 Casa Grande, Sells at 102. Again, Tucson, I am forecasting that high of 100 tomorrow. Sahuarita, 102. 101 in Vail. And a lot of folks are going to be using that H word tomorrow night, especially if they're visitors from other parts of the nation, cheering on their grads because it's going to be pretty hot. At the event, 7 o'clock, 95 degrees. The graduates will be marching at 8 with 90, 85 at 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 80 degrees when maybe you're headed out doing some celebrating with friends or family. And speaking of celebration, congratulations to Amber Ross and Snowball. She's graduating from the University of Arizona. Way to go, Amber. Congratulations to you. And maybe Snowball's graduating from Obedience School? I'm not real sure about that. We'd love to see pictures of your grads. Share them with us. I contribute Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook. Hey, this forecast, this one's for Snowball. Dog walking tomorrow, 5 a.m. That's a good time to do so. Temps in the upper 60s, 79 by 8 o'clock. That's okay. Certainly not by 5 when we hit that triple digit mark. 8 p.m. It's going to be iffy with 85. And a look at your 7-day forecast now. Again, getting breezy the next 3 days. The storm bringing us the wind, though, is going to cool us back down by Monday, 87, 85 by Tuesday. Stella, Guy?
Aaron, thank you. Well, it's graduation season. Many students are crossing the stage with not just a diploma, big loans as well.
But don't worry. Tonight, we take a look at the best and worst places you can start your career and who pays more. You're watching KGUN 9 on your side.
In HD, you're watching KGUN 9 on your side. News at 5.
From schools big and small, they are graduating by the thousands right now. But once the euphoria starts to fade, the economic reality of hitting the job market, well, it sets in. Faye Fredericks is crunching the numbers for new college grads.
In a sea of freshly minted college graduates, Kenson Thoy stands out, not physically, financially.
So my major is supply chain and finance. I'll be working with JP Morgan Chase in their downtown office.
He's also graduating with no debt, and that alone gives him an edge over the 70% of 2016 grads carrying student loans.
I probably have about $15,000 in student loans.
But I'm probably around $30,000 in loans.
While some financial advisors recommend not taking out more than you can earn in salary during your first year in your chosen career, most students will leave college needing to repay more than $37,000, according to Money Magazine.
I mean, I'm massively in debt, but it'll all be worth it in the end.
Education major Andrew Johnson's planning to start looking in his home state of Oregon after all the celebrating here at Arizona State is over. Wallet Hub finds Salt Lake City is actually the best place in the nation to start a career. Denver in at number 2, while parts of Las Vegas and South Florida are among the worst. Still, the excitement of finally putting on that cap and gown in front of proud parents and smiling friends overshadowing any challenges, at least for now.
For me, today means everything. I did it.
Faye Fredericks.
Tomorrow night, the U of A will light up its fireworks as another class will cross the stage. The 2016 commencement begins at 7:30 p.m. at the Arizona Stadium. And for anyone wanting to attend, there will be a clear bag policy. For more information on what to bring and tips on finding the perfect parking spot, head to our website, kgun9.com.
An exciting day, though.
Yes, it is. For most of us, our phones help us capture every important moment in our lives, but new technology is making it even easier. Check out what a new item will make you forget about your phone. You're watching KGUN 9 on your side.